everyone, welcome back to another episode of Absolutely, and I came up with a weird idea. You see, I have this skill, this ability, to tell you stories about anything that is going on, and I can somehow make them kind of somewhat interesting. All the way back to when I worked at GameStop, and I would tell you stories about the games that I played, such as going on a crazy adventure in which you have to mate with as many women as possible to build an army of children. But that's a different story about conception. I can tell you that another time. But but I also, one of my things I enjoy doing is I enjoy watching what is most likely going to be a terrible movie. Now, they don't all turn out terrible. The one today actually ended up kind of just shocking me and being bizarre. But we thought we would try this, see if I could explain a movie well enough or poorly enough to Sal that he might be interested in something that probably isn't in his wheelhouse normally. What do you think, Sal? You think I can do this?
I think I have all faith in you.
Well, I don't know why, but okay.
Me either.
So I'm going to tell you what the name of the movie is, the ending, but I can tell you right now, you most likely won't be able to guess it based on the name of this movie, because these are bizarre ones that I just find across the thing, okay?
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, so this movie, I got to start this story by telling you, it's listed under the comedy bracket. Comedy, okay?
All right.
It's a comedy drama. So I'm sitting around playing some video games and I'm like, oh, a comedy drama. I could use a few chuckles, dear pal. I could have a great time. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the concept behind the movie, the premise is two guns, two best friends, and a pact to end their lives when the day is done. In the comedy category. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be over the top, jokey probably. You know, like...
in a suicide pact.
Yeah, in a suicide pact, but in a
jokey...
I'm
sorry, an unaliving pact. Yeah.
An unaliving pact, right. But in a jokey way, because it's a comedy drama. Comedy's the first word in it.
Yes.
Okay. So the show starts up and it's got the movie starts up, it's got two guys. One guy is in a psychiatric ward due to anger and rage problems, and the other guy is in a dead-end job where he can't stand the job. And it opens up with, they're excited that he has done such a great job, and they ask him if his entire life has he always dreamed of being in mulch. So I guess he's in like a mulching facility or something. And he's like, no. And they're like, yeah, I didn't think you did either. That's why I'm making you foreman. Like, that's his promotion. He's becoming the foreman. To which he tries to tie a belt around his neck and choke himself out.
Oh my God. Okay. Hilarious.
So, right. I'm still waiting for the laughs, but I'm like, okay, we got to set up the movie. We got to set up the movie part, to get to the last portion of this. Okay. So he's doing that and he gets caught in the bathroom with this belt around his neck, and he lets himself go. And then he goes up to find his friend who is in the psychiatric ward. His friend in the psychiatric ward is screaming at his state-run hired person.
Like sponsor, yeah.
Sponsored person about trying to help him. He's like, you don't know what's going on. And he's yelling at her and telling her she's terrible at her job. And I'm like, cool. Where's the laughs? But okay, we got to set it up. It's a comedy drama, so we got to get the drama out of there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, get us to care about these characters before
you got to get me to care about their plight and why they're going to make a suicide pact, which is where I already know from the description where this is supposed to be going.
Right, exactly. You did your research. You know where this movie's supposed to be going, so we know.
Supposed to be going, yeah.
Exactly.
My research was the synopsis, but yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the first guy shows up. What was the name? Okay, so the psychiatric ward's guy's name was Kevin. And what was the name of the other guy? I only remember Kevin because I have a friend named Kevin.
Okay. They shouldn't even have names. It should be like psychiatric
ward guy and mulch guy. We'll go
mulch
with that.
Man, yeah.
Mulch man. Okay, so mulch man shows up to psych ward guy's area. Okay, and he's like, hey, I'm going to get you out of here. We're going to get you out of here. I got something I got to ask you. So shenanigans ensue, which aren't really funny shenanigans. Like, he lights a cigarette, which sets off a smoke alarm. They open a window. He walks out the window. Like that
sounds like a jailbreak. Okay.
Yeah. So they do that and they break out. And they get in the car and he goes to psychiatric ward guy and he's like, look at the bag. And in the bag is 2 guns and a bottle of whiskey. Okay. And the guy freaks out. He's like, what is this? What is this? And mulch man's like, I'm done. I'm done with life. I want to end my life, and I want you to. I'm going to shoot you, and you're going to shoot me. Because why would you want to live your life? Your life's terrible.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Like.
So again, and I really want to be responsible for your death. Like, I want to convince you. Like, no, your life isn't worth living. Come on.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So I'm like, oh, geez, where is the humor in my
Yeah.
comedy drama? But okay, we gotta set it up. This is
Yeah,
like
the humor is
wait,
the trick that they tricked you into watching this movie, and it's not hilarious. Like
I clicked it to see where I'm at, and I'm like 20 minutes in right now. Like we're
Okay,
still
all right.
setting up the premise. So I'm like, okay, it's an hour and 20 minutes long. So
oh, that's barely a movie. Okay.
yeah, we don't have a long movie to do this in, but okay.
Yeah.
So they're driving. They go behind where'd they go? It was a strip club because that's the most desolate place they could think of in the middle of the day.
Sure. Yeah.
So that got a chuckle out of me. Yeah, a strip club. Yeah. And they point the guns at each other's head, and they back out at the last second.
Okay.
So psychiatric ward guy decides, if we're going to do this, I want to do everything I've ever wanted to do in my last day.
Okay.
Okay, cool. In my head, I'm like, we're 25 minutes in. This is where the
Premise.
humor is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do crazy, stupid stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to do a last day on Earth kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's the bucket list meets the Hangover.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, cool. We got there. We had some little jokes here or there, but we got there. So this movie then moves into these characters are decide to go. I forget the order of things, but it's almost like individual segments happen.
Right, like we get like vignettes. Each scene is a different like scenario. I'm assuming like he wants to have a big breakfast, so they go to this like restaurant, and he has a big stack of pancake.
that.
Oh, it's not even that. Okay.
No. So I believe the first of the order is I want to murder the psychiatrist who apparently molested psychiatry guy or psych ward guy.
Okay. Oh, hilarious.
Right. I'm like, okay, it's a little awkward, which leads to a few fun moments. Like they try to go there, but it turns out the psych guy didn't come in. Like he just didn't come in for the day. But he'll be in at night. So because the plan was we're going to go in, we're going to shoot this guy, and then we're going to shoot ourselves. Once we shoot the shrink, that's it. We're committed. I'm not
really?
going to
That's
jail.
it? They're not going to go on another like that should be the last thing they do. Then.
Right, but so that's what it turns into because the guy won't come in until later. So they're like, okay, we have an open.
We
day.
got some time to kill in addition to this man.
And so now we're like 40 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now we're gonna do the stack of pancakes. We're gonna do
Right. We're gonna skydive, and then like yeah.
I'm like, okay. We're like 40 minutes in. It's been mostly drama.
I want to throw a pitch at a Major League Baseball game. You know, I'm gonna run on the field naked. Yeah.
So that would be your bucket list. And
Right.
they do that to an extent. They're like, well, let's go to the old dirt bike place where we used to be buddies, and we'll go on a final ride. I'm like, oh, cool. The insanity's going to start. Here's the comedy.
Yeah. Sure. I could imagine a scenario that would be quite a knee slapper in that situation. Sure.
They're there for like 5 minutes. They wreck the bike, and Mulch Man now has an injury on his leg.
Oh, okay. So he's slowed down. All right. Fine.
So they decide that they're going to go to the convenience store to get bandages, okay? And they have a few heart-to-heart. They're talking about their childhood and their friendship. Once again, not comedically.
No,
they're talking
good
about
idea.
like this guy was abused and my dad was a terrible dad and like this is why our lives suck and
they got to ground this movie because it's been such a chuckle fest since the beginning.
So we're getting background of the characters, and they go in to this convenience store to try and get bandages, and the store clerk is ignoring them.
Oh.
Like he's like, I gotta count the money. You can ask me whatever you gotta ask me when I'm done. And then he ignores them.
Okay.
So psych ward guy pulls a gun out on him. This is probably the only funny moment in the movie.
The gun that he's gonna use.
He pulls the gun on the guy. The guy freaks out and he's like, yeah, give me the bandages and the gauze and a pack of menthols and like.
He turns it into a stick up. Okay.
Right, but then he pays him and the guy's confused. He's like, here's the money for the stuff. He's like, when you ignore people, you make them feel invisible.
Oh, so there's a moral lesson here.
So now we have a moral lesson on the stick up. I'm like, well, it was kind of funny, and then you kind of literally slapped me across the face with the lesson. Like,
yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Not literally, but literally in the sense of how that word is used nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this leads to they're bandaging up the guy's leg, and I'm like, okay, we're already done with the comedy. The comedy was the injury, the thing. Uh-huh. And yeah, we're coming to the close of this movie.
Yeah.
Mulch Man decides he's going to confront his abusive father.
Oh, okay, but don't they have to shoot the doctor first?
Right, we still got time though. That's at 6 at night.
Right.
So it's
he's
like
going to address his father. All right, cool. Yeah. Get some breakthroughs.
So he goes
going.
to his father and he confronts him, and the dad's just being a jackass about the whole thing. He's just like,
naturally.
"This is terrible. I'm not paying you nothing." Like, I guess he stole money from the kid or the Mulchman, and Mulchman wanted it back. So Mulchman goes to try and rob the dad's store to take the money, and the dad comes out and starts beating him over the face.
Oh my god!
And so psych ward guy is like beating him with the tire iron, and I'm like, "Where's the comedy?"
Okay. Yeah,
now we're just beating each other.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And then Mulchman finds out as they're leaving from this robbery now from his own dad.
Yeah.
That on a phone call voicemail, we find out why he wants to commit suicide. He feels his life is pointless and meaningless, and his job is going to go nowhere, and he doesn't want to just go to work, come home, see the girlfriend, but the girlfriend leaves a message that she's pregnant. And she has a baby. So I'm like, okay, so what?
Yeah,
so he's
what do you
not
do
going to
now?
want to commit suicide.
No, now he's going to want to live, yeah.
So they got to split off at the exactly. And I'm literally looking at the thing and it says R-rated comedy drama movie 2022.
Okay.
Anyway,
all right, this year, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So they go. So he goes to drop all the money he stole off on the girlfriend. It's like a couple $1,000s. That's his.
This is the money he stole from his abusive father.
Yeah. He's gonna go drop that money off, a couple $1,000, then commit the suicide.
Oh, okay.
While the other guy, because he's telling him like, I don't really think I want to commit suicide anymore. So the other guy decides to go on this random drive where he's listening to Papa Roach. Last Resort.
Hey!
Because the whole movie he's been trying to listen to that because he's like, if I'm going to commit suicide, I got to listen to the song about suicide.
Is that what that song's about? I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't know that either, but apparently it is. I didn't listen that closely to the lyrics.
No, I was just kind of rocking out to it back when I was a child. So yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So it comes down to all of this is going on, and it turns down to Mulchman doesn't want to commit suicide or unalive himself anymore.
He's gonna be a father now, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be a father, and the other guy still wants to get revenge on the doctor because that's the whole thing that they decided. And you find out because they imply the doctor messed him up, only to find out that he was molested. Like they imply that very strongly.
Okay,
they don't say it, but there's like they do flashback sequences. By the way, this psychiatrist is Henry Winkler.
What?
It's Henry Winkler is apparently molesting this other kid. So
great. Okay. All right.
So the Fonz, this is what he did in his later years. So he goes in to confront the doctor, and he gets the doctor on his knees, and this guy's alone now because the other guy decided not to be a part of it because he wants to be at the family.
Now he's
so
gonna be father.
The psych ward guy's got the gun on Henry Winkler's head. Mm-hmm. I'm still not laughing, by the way.
No, it's not. Yeah, hilarious.
At this point, I've committed to this isn't a comedy.
It's like, okay, there's not going to be like a heel turn here. You lied to me, but I'm watching the movie now.
I'm watching the movie now, and I'm going to see where this turns out. And he goes to pull the trigger, but the safety's on.
Oh, no.
And Henry Winkler slaps the gun out of his hands and takes it.
Oh, this is going nowhere.
He's got it pointed at the guy.
Oh, no.
But he doesn't want to shoot him. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this now? How do we fix this? What am I going to do? The other guy, Mulchman, shows up, sees Henry Winkler holding the gun at what appears to be pointing it at the friend, and pops him in the head.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Killing Henry Winkler. Then a witness sees the both of them immediately, and they start running.
There we go. Okay.
Then they get into a high-speed cop chase with psych ward guy being like, that's it, we got to commit suicide. And the other guy being like, I don't want to commit unaliving. I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
And they're arguing as more and more cops get on them. This turns into like a 20-minute chase. Like this is over an hour, and the movie's only got 20 minutes left. So they're in this chase for 20
we're getting to the end. All right.
They show up at the old dirt bike place where they kind of like they circumvent some things, and there's like a message about racism there because the guy who runs the dirt bike thing gets immediately dropped to his knees because he's black.
Oh.
And the only reason I know it's saying racism is they have a discussion mid-movie about how if this goes down, like they're going to probably put all the blame on the black guy instead of the white guy.
Oh my god!
And I haven't mentioned their races up to this point because other than
really
that scene in the ending, it doesn't play into it at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So they get on dirt bikes, they ride over to like what appears to be like a ditch, like a middle of nowhere ditch. They get completely surrounded, and Mulchman's like, I'm not committing suicide, but psych ward guy's holding the gun to his head because they're supposed to shoot each other.
Oh yeah.
So so Mulchman pulls out the gun. They're arguing about this last second, and Mulchman throws the gun down and says he's not doing it. He's not touching this. He's not going to prison over this.
Okay.
And then the other guy, psych ward guy, is like, you're right. Tell them it was all my fault. And he shoots himself.
Oh,
and
no.
the movie then cuts to no sound, no nothing, and we just see Mulchman in prison with his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
We don't hear what the sentence was, what the resolution was, none of that. It's just that it just pans out,
Right.
and he's in prison.
What a knee slapper.
That's my comedy drama.
Yeah. Cool.
The movie's called On the Count of Three. It's on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
On the count of three. All right.
It stars Gerard Carmichael.
Okay.
He's in a few things you might recognize. It's directed by him, and he stars in it.
Oh, it's directed by him too, huh? So it's like a vanity project. Okay.
I think it must be. I try to look at what are the things he's more well known for. He's currently on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay.
He was in a movie that I saw though.
He was in 8. The Carmichael Show.
He was in something that I remember seeing his face.
Okay.
I recognized him for a little while.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could recommend the movie, Sal, but does this make you want to see On the Count of Three?
No. No. Maybe, no. There's enough misery and darkness in the movie, in life. I'd rather not watch someone literally throw their life away and then have another person throw their own life away based on the gift they gave. Hey, tell them it was me. And then he's like, no, I have too much integrity. I'm like, well, then you're an idiot.
We don't even know if that happened. What if he just went to jail for 6 months for beating the dad?
Well, that's true. Yeah.
We don't know what he's in jail for.
They ended it that way, so it's nebulous. Cool.
Yeah, it's completely ambiguous as to what actually happened. But he has the kid now, which means it has to have been a couple of years. So who knows what he's in prison
so
for?
it was not 6 months. It was a couple of years.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's there forever. Yeah, awesome.
So let me know in the comments down below what you think about this concept. I'm going to watch a potentially bad movie on a weekly basis and tell Sal.
More streaming movies, more movies that are on streaming that you can't find anywhere else that are what?
I don't know if I can recommend it, but I watched that yesterday, and I was talking. Natalie asked what I'd watch because she came in at the ending. Because I literally yelled out when the guy shot himself because I didn't see that coming. I thought they were both getting arrested. Because he does it so suddenly. He's like, bow, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm not totally with. I'm half watching it at this point.
Of course. So, by that point, I'd be checking.
I explained. I'm like, well, there's the concept for this new show on Absolutely right there.
Yeah, just what? Yeah. Cool.
So let us know what you think, and also list off some movies that are bizarre you want me to watch.
Yeah.
So, and I'll explain them to Sal and just see if Sal can guess where it's going. Because I loved how midway through this, you're like, so they went for the big pancakes, and they went.
And they did this whole thing.
No, Sal, they did not. They just kept getting sadder.
That'd be too expensive. No. They ride dirt bikes because they already own them.
So, but yes, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time right here at Absolutely.